Hey, you're watching Buck Wild Trucking right here with Ron. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Ron, this is dispatch.
What's going on YouTube? Buck Rub here, and welcome to another edition of Buck Wild Trucking. I am just south of Canton, Ohio, on my way to Canada. It's my first time to actually cross the border. It's my first time ever to be in Canada. I'm both excited and a little nervous. I think I've got all my ducks in a row. I had a whole bunch of messages, when I got the trip, and it listed all these things that I needed to do and paperwork I needed to fill out. And I've gone through all that, and I think I've got everything done. The only thing I have not received is a call back from the broker, who is supposed to confirm that he received everything, and I haven't got a Qualcomm message yet saying you are approved across the border. So if I don't have that in the morning, I need to call in. They told me not to cross the border or attempt to cross the border until I receive that message, and I have not received it. But I think I have everything, everything they said I needed, they've got. My fleet manager was really good. I went and met with him Friday night or Friday evening before he left. Told him, I've never done it before. I wanted to make sure I knew everything I was doing, and I took some notes from the messages and went through them with him, and he explained everything. So I think I got it all done. So we'll see. I think when I left you last time, I was in Minnesota, and man, it's been a really good week. If I've done all my calculations right, and I'll find out tonight what my mileage split is on this run, but if I've figured everything out, I've got 2,800 miles this week, which is it's not bad. I mean, it's right in there with what they promised me when I first got hired. They told me the glass division runs between 2 and 2,400 miles a week, but I could expect more. Of course, they didn't tell me I could expect less, but what kind of recruiter is going to tell you that? It's freight has been slow, and glass has been slow. I did real well at the beginning of the year, but the last month was very slow, and according to my stats, I think I'm averaging for the year a little over 1,700 miles a week, which isn't enough, but if it's picking up, then we're gonna be good. So anyway, this week I went, of course, from home to Wichita Falls, and picked up a load, took that load up to Minnesota, and then from Minnesota I was sent to Laurinburg, North Carolina, and on the way there I actually met up with a buddy of mine, Gary Compton. He's got a YouTube channel. You should check it out. It's Lone Wolf 1780, I believe, is what his channel is. He was a Prime driver, a lease op with Prime, and I think he did okay for a while, but in the end it was getting kind of rough on him. And of course, they keep you out for 14 years, never let you come home, and he has switched over to Schneider IC and seems to be real happy about that. His videos tell a lot about the difference between the Prime lease and the Schneider IC lease, but he seems to be real happy. He's picking his own freight. He's getting home to do functions with his kids, and I mean, let's face it. I mean, we work to live. We don't live to work, and when your life is your family, that's what you should be able to do for your job, staying out 5, 6, 7 weeks. I mean, that's nothing for a married man with kids, for sure. It'll cause hardship on a relationship. So he seems to be really happy right now. And check out his videos if you're if you've got at least a year's experience. I believe, depending on where you live, I think you're eligible for that program over there. And it seems like a pretty good program, so check him out. But we had a nice visit. We did a live feed, kind of a little comedy thing. You can see that on Super Truckers of America page on Facebook. And we had a good time. I've known Gary for about a year, but of course we've only met on Facebook and on Zello. This is the first time we've met face to face, and he's a real good guy, and it was nice to meet you, Gary, in person, for sure. After I left him, I went on to Laurinburg. I was scheduled to get a service done, an A and B service. I guess that's a general check over and then oil change and check all my fluids and grease my fifth wheel and grease the joints, all the maintenance stuff that gets done. I was scheduled to have that done Friday at noon, so I stayed up pretty late Thursday night, so I could kind of sleep in and not be bored. And while because it usually takes several hours to get these services done. And so anyway, early Friday morning, my phone rings and I answer it, and it's my fleet manager, and he says, "Hey, we've got some stuff you might be interested in over here. Why don't you come upstairs and talk to me?" And I told him, sure, no problem. I'll get dressed and be right up there. Well, of course, naturally, I thought they were throwing me a surprise party, but when I got up there was no cake or punch or juice or nothing, just a whole bunch of fleet managers there acting all serious. But they, I guess they had a lot of people call in over at the glass plant. We have Maverick employees that work at the glass plant that preload trailers, and I guess they had several call-ins, and one or maybe two of their yard dogs were in for service, so they sent a couple of us over there to work. And I know one of us ended up just shuttling trailers in and out, and I ended up actually working on the dock where I live loaded 3 trailers. It was a job. I mean, I was pretty tired. I did a step deck load, and I did a flatbed load, and then I did a DG trailer, and the first 2 I did by myself, and the last one, there's a new Maverick employee there that just got off the trainer truck with another buddy of mine, and he was there doing his glass training, and he helped me out on that last DG. But I was tired when I was done. But then I got a macro, on my Qualcomm that told me what I was being paid for that day of work, and I was over there, about 8.5 hours, and I was pleasantly surprised on how much I'm being paid for that day of work. So it's going to end up being a real good check this month or this week with about 2,800 miles, and then what they paid me for that, and so that's it. I'm happy this week. I feel a lot better with what's going on. I also, after I found out that, I also got me another run and found out I was making this run to Canada. So I headed out this morning. I think it's about a 15 hour drive up to just outside of Toronto, Ontario. Concord, Ontario is where I'm going, and drop off up there at a window and door place, and then we'll find out from there where I'm going. I'm due to be home on Friday, so hopefully they'll send me somewhere, grab a load that's gonna take me back to Texas. I hope it's a preload DGL. That would be sweet to haul some jumbos to Texas. Nice easy run, and a decent 2 weeks if they're able to pull that off. So got here, hopped in the shower, had me some homemade vegetable soup that the wife made me, cooked in the lunchbox cooker, and had me a little side salad that I bought here in the Pilot. And tomorrow morning I'll head out. Had talked to my wife, hey, if I sneak off and get to see Niagara Falls, don't tell my wife. She commented today that she had looked at my route and saw I was going to go right by Niagara Falls. She's never seen it. She's always wanted to go. I really feel bad that in 29 years we've been married, I've never taken her to do that. She's mentioned it several times. I'd love to get her out here on the road with me, but with Maverick's pet policy, I just don't see it happening. You know, it cost me to board my dogs. It would cost me 400 or 500 miles just in the cost of that. She's real excited to come, but I don't know if that's gonna happen as long as Maverick has their pet policy that they do. Don't get me wrong, Maverick's treated me very well, and I've been real happy. Just a few little things, so I guess it's give and take with any company. You know, any company, they tell you there's goods and there's bads, and that's true even here at Maverick, but I'm pretty happy with it. So anyway, I'll try to get some video tomorrow, maybe when I'm crossing the border. I'm told I can't see the falls on my route, but I can see the mist. Maybe I'll get some of that. And, maybe early next week I'll post a video up. I might also run into my buddy Mike Holden. He lives in Toronto. He's a Canadian truck driver, and I'm hoping to get to meet up with him. He had mentioned meeting up Monday morning, but my delivery's 7 a.m. I don't know if I can do that. Mike, if you're watching this, I'm gonna be in that area. I'm gonna try to find a truck stop pretty close to there, or at least go to the shipper that night, and I'll probably be there fairly early tomorrow night. So if you want to come over and try to meet up then, that would be great. A lot of my buddies also had mentioned to make sure I stop at the duty-free store, but in talking to some people, the duty-free store, I guess, is really just cigarettes, liquor, and condoms, something that I don't need any of. However, now that Cuban cigars are legal to possess in the United States, I would sure like to find me 4, 5, 6 Cuban cigars to bring back with me. And I understand the duty-free store does not carry any. But if anybody knows of a place between here and Toronto where I can get a truck in to get me a couple Cuban cigars, man, leave me a message, because I would love to grab a couple of them to take back. It's been years since I've had one, and I'd like to partake in one and maybe save a couple for me and a friend around a fire. So yeah, if anybody knows where I can find a couple Cuban cigars around the border, or at least on the road to Toronto, where I can get a truck in. I have to be able to get a truck in there, or I can't stop. I guess if they have Uber in the Ontario area, I can maybe find something. So if anybody knows anything in the Concord area where I could take an Uber from a truck stop, man, list that too. Because yeah, I'd like to find some. Well, I guess I'm gonna hit the hay. I'm kind of tired. It's been a long day. I only did 535 miles today, but it was a nice trip too. I became 77 all the way up, and I'm still on 77 here. That's a beautiful drive. I've never been this far north on it, but it's really nice. And man, but be careful coming through Ohio. The troopers are thick. I was coming up tonight, and I had one. I saw a car coming really fast over in the Hammer lane, and then he all of a sudden tucked in behind me, and I could tell it was a cop. You know, and I wasn't speeding. Speed limit 70. My truck's governed at 65. I couldn't imagine why he would be pulling me over, and he stayed behind me. Right on me too. I could only see his headlights if he would drift over to one side or the other for a second, and then he stayed behind me for about 5 minutes, and then he shot out and went on around, and sure enough, it was a trooper. And then about 10 miles later, I seen a trooper up on an on-ramp, and as I was approaching, he started to turn and head down the ramp. Well, I turned on my signal to try to get over, and there was a car right at my tandems. that car backed off, but then I realized I was going to beat the trooper, you know, going past him, and he ended up tucking behind that car that was over on my tandems and pulling him over. Of course, that stupid jack wagon pulled over to the left, right there in the center. I just don't understand people. I mean, everybody knows emergency vehicle, you pull to the right. Emergency vehicle, you pull to the right. But this dumbass pulls left into the median, puts everybody's life at risk. But anyway, the troopers are thick in Ohio, so be very careful if you're traveling through there. I'm gonna let you go. I'm Buck Rub, out.